Part 7. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 62. What's going on, Lao Yang? Is the little girl on the stage our teacher? Wang Su, the director of the art department of MiHoYo, asked Yang Shen, who was sitting next to him, with a strange look on his face. In fact, the positioning of the two companies is not much different. MiHoYo is committed to making real two-dimensional mobile games, while Bilibili is the center of domestic act. The two companies have also cooperated before, and Bilibili is also one of the channel servers of Honkai Academy too. You don't know each other, Yang Shen was surprised, but it was teacher Miyobi who called you. Miyobi, Wang Su said confusedly, isn't that the cartoonist who draws the Suxian series? We were called here by teacher Ballpoint Pen. What the hell is a ballpoint pen? Yang Shen secretly glanced at the podium and saw Suxiener still fiddling with the computer. He didn't know what to do, so he whispered, the one on the stage is Miyobi, the author of the Suxian series and our teacher. And I'm afraid Ballpoint Pen is also her pen name. After all, Miyobi also has a stage name called Water Pen. What? Water Pen is also her. Wang Su was surprised. My wife has always liked the song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. Miyobi has now joined our B station, and is also our station girl. Yang Shen smiled proudly. This is not a secret. Anyway, after 12 o'clock, basically the audience will know about the station girl of B station. At this time, the artists in other seats were also whispering. As long as they were not stupid, they basically guessed Suxiener's identity. MiHoYo's people were shocked. They had always thought that the ballpoint pen teacher should be a young man in his 20s or 30s with a busy career, so they always asked their assistant Chen Shui to come over during the negotiation. But today, it turned out to be a girl. And the other party was a Miyobi and Shuabai. Oh my god, is it so crazy? A beautiful girl drawing a book, and now she is their teacher? And she sings so well? Now because there has been no new songs for a long time, her Weibo fans are relatively quiet, but they know that as long as Suxiener releases a new song, it will definitely boil again. Of course, the quality of the song needs to be good. And I heard that the cover of Sakura Sakura Wants to See You by the Queen Asada Saori will soon be released online for free. By then, Sakura Sakura Wants to See You may be extremely popular, and Suxiener's fans may have to increase again. Everyone looked at the girl on the stage with complicated expressions, and it took a long time to accept this crazy setting. Some young artists were particularly ashamed. After all, they had seen Miyobi's Suxien series and committed suicide by drawing a sword. Now they felt ashamed to face Suxiener. Okay, I'll send all the line drawings to your respective computers. 1 page for each person. Everyone must imitate the style of painting. Remember to hand it in to me before leaving. Get off work today. Suxiener fiddled with it for a long time and finally figured out how to send the draft in her USB drive to the computer below. After sending it, she clapped her hands with a happy face. That's right, this is what she thought of. She typed the draft and then asked the artists of two companies to help her work for free. I have to say that she is really a genius who can think of this awesome idea. The artists below were dumbfounded. Looking at the draft sent from the computer in front of them, they clicked it and saw that this was not a line drawing at all. Isn't this a draft? And it's barely a draft. If you really want to say it, it can only be regarded as a sloppy draft. The lines are messy. If you don't look carefully, you won't know that these lines are human figures. However, there was also the style of the first page of Book of Life and Death for them to refer to. Ministers Yang Shen and Wang Su looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They were not going to help draw comics as assistants, were they? The first episode of Book of Life and Death on the internet was only 1 page, and it had caused a lot of noise in the comics industry. As artists, they naturally had news in the morning. In this situation now. What's wrong? Get started, I want to check it. You guys draw first. If you don't understand, raise your hands and ask. Susiener saw that everyone was still watching and dawdling, so she urged them. The artists felt that they had fallen into a pit and could only accept it with a pinch of their noses. Seeing that everyone started to draw with a drawing board, Susiener nodded with satisfaction. However, Susiener knew that the painters in this world were very bad, so she didn't just rest or play games on the podium. The main reason was that there were no games on this computer, and she was too lazy to download them. After Susiener sat in the chair and meditated for 5 minutes, her head was nodding, and she almost fell asleep. She rubbed her face and knew that she couldn't just sit here and do nothing. Thinking about it, he stood up and looked at the artists who were painting seriously below. When Susiener walked down, she saw a female artist who was only in her 20s putting away her phone in a panic, not knowing what to do. She came over without saying a word, looked at the other person's screen, and was speechless. Why is it muscle style? Seeing that Susiener didn't notice her sneak shot, the female artist breathed a sigh of relief, and then said weakly, "Miobi teacher, you only gave us the first page of Book of Life and Death, and there was no complete style of painting. I could only draw it in my mind, but as I was drawing, it turned into the previous style again." Really? Susiener touched her little head, then walked around the entire multimedia classroom, and shouted directly, "Stop for a moment." With a bitter face, Susiener found that what she thought was too simple. These people couldn't imitate the style at all, or she only gave us one page of Book of Life and Death, without three-dimensionality, so it was naturally impossible to imitate it by looking alone. As expected, habits are terrible, and most of the artists went straight towards the muscle style as they drew. Have you never drawn character sketches? In fact, my style of painting is very easy to imitate. As long as you have some sketching skills, you can imitate it at will. Susiener stood on the podium, her little face tightened, looking like a strict teacher. Appearance. Well, Mr. Miobi, what is character sketching? The female artist just raised her hand to ask, looking at Susiener with bright eyes. The more she looked at her, the more she thought her serious look was too cute. Sketching is, what? You don't know sketching? Susiener, who answered subconsciously, suddenly reacted and was surprised. Then she looked at the confused faces of the artists below and searched on the computer. I discovered that there really is no sketch in this world. Oh my god. Susiener now wants to feel if there is a huge retarded halo on the top of her head, which directly makes people in this world mentally retarded. There is no sketching in the painting world of this world. At this moment, she finally understood why her painting style had deviated so seriously, because as long as she had sketched, it could not be in the muscular style. As long as you have the basics of sketching and imagination, comics can't just have one style. Then Susiener searched again and found that the sketches only had still life sketches and no figure sketches at all. The world-famous painting Mona Lisa's smile obviously no longer existed. There were many abstract paintings of figures, but this kind of even portraits I can't even see. What's the use? Looking at the group of primary school students below, Susiener felt deeply responsible. That you? Seeing Susiener pointing at herself, the young female artist responded, "My name is Li Mei, little teacher Miobi. Classmate Li Mei, you will be my model, and I will teach you what sketching is." Okay, Li Mei was excited, and then couldn't help but said, "Little teacher Miobi, can I take a photo with you after school?" Everyone was speechless. Do you really think this is a school? Of course, even though they said this, they were still extremely interested in this so-called sketch. Let's talk after we finish painting. No problem. Then Susiener asked everyone to move the chairs and table aside, then found a drawing book and sat on the chair, letting everyone stand behind her and watch. The so-called sketching is a quick sketching method. It was developed when I was bored when I was a child. Please vote for recommendation OVO. Then as a digression, this book accepts all suggestions, but if this book does not meet your expectations for novels, then silently click to remove it. Before abandoning the book, do not post in the book review area. When you see XXX, abandon it immediately. That's it. There is no benefit except that the mentality of a glass-hearted author like me explodes and affects my writing. It is simply harmful to others and not to myself. If you don't read it, other readers will want to read it. Please. Any future book reviews of this kind will be permanently deleted. Thanks to Knife Cut Orange for becoming an elder of this book transformed into a comic book artist author, Meow by Shen Wu. Chapter 63. Sketch, like sketching, is not only the foundation of plastic arts, but also an independent art form and a branch of sketching. Since it is called a sketch, it is naturally very fast to draw. In the previous life, when art students took exams, the examination hall gave candidates enough time to complete the sketches, so the general exam time was 30 minutes, but art students who studied painting in the studio were required to draw a sketch in 10 minutes. Sketch and sketch are the foundation of the painting world, and comics are naturally the same. Only those who know sketch and sketch can be considered an art student. Of course, the most important thing for comics is the storyboard and character design, but with a model, as long as you draw according to the human body and capture the key points of the clothing texture, a character sketch can be easily completed. After about 10 minutes, Susiener looked at the sketchbook and nodded with satisfaction. It's done, this is a sketch. As long as you follow my method and practice more, you will definitely be able to figure out a different style if you become a cartoonist. I have always wondered why this world is muscle style. Now that I know that there are no sketches and character sketches in the painting world, it suddenly dawned on her. After all, as long as you can sketch and draw, the comics world cannot be only about muscles. After saying that, seeing no movement behind, Susiener turned her head curiously, and saw the shocked eyes of a group of artists. Yang Shen saw Susiener looking at him, and reacted, saying in a difficult tone, "This is sketching." As artists, they all came from art students in the early days. Their understanding of painting surpassed that of high school and college art students, and they were also very familiar with the painting world. Yang Shen is already a father, and has been in this industry for more than 20 years. He was invited to give lectures at universities before, and he has listened to lectures by masters in the painting world. His understanding of painting is already familiar to the bones. As a senior, Yang Shen naturally knows what this so-called sketch represents. This kind of short, concise, and vivid writing, which briefly describes the situation of the characters, represents easy learning, and easy learning represents high universality, which means that even people who can't draw can start learning painting from sketching, which is a kind of painting foundation. And those who have learned painting and learn sketching in turn? Too simple? Yes, sketching is too simple in Yang Shen's eyes. With a model, no. He doesn't even need a model. As long as he has imagination in his mind, he can learn sketching. However, it is the simplicity that is shocking, because as long as sketching is popularized, the painting world all over the world will benefit from it. And the comic style? It can be extended from sketching, and everyone can create their own unique style. This sketch stick is great. Wang Su next to him also reacted at this time, and said in shock. Looking at Susiener, he never thought that a 17-year-old girl could create this form of painting career. As long as sketching is popularized, it will have a strong impact on the entire painting world. Just like what Yang Shen thought, as long as all art students learn this and popularize it around the world, Susiener can be called the teacher of painters all over the world. Although the other party is only 17 years old, there is no limit to learning, and the one who is successful is the teacher, not to mention that the other party is a pioneer. This sketch of Myobi can be said to have saved the entire painting world. It can help people who don't know how to draw to get started quickly, and it can help senior artists to gain a deeper understanding of the art. It has a role in promoting the painting world, and it is simply a great merit. It is hard to imagine that this was developed by a little girl when she was bored as a child. No wonder the painting styles of the book and the Book of Life and Death are different. I am afraid that the other party can change the painting style as they want. Miobi teacher, are you really going to teach us this? Yang Shen looked at Susiener deeply. He was afraid that the other party didn't know what sketching represented, or that some young artists didn't know what these represented. Of course, as long as you learn to sketch, you can help me draw, you can complete the homework I just assigned. Susiener, who almost let the cat out of the bag, quickly made up for it. Okay, you two will form a group and each be a model for the other. I will give you an hour to get used to the sketch. After an hour, I will draw a character sketch for you. Character sketch, Yang Shen and Wang Su exclaimed in surprise, and the other artists also stared at Susiener closely, wondering what surprise the other party would give them. I thought I was being tricked, but I didn't expect Susiener to reveal all the core content to them. In fact, the other party could have hired a few comic assistants to teach them, and there was no need to give lectures at all. Thinking of this, everyone was grateful in their hearts. If they were not wrong, they should be the first batch of artists to receive Susiener's teaching. This would leave a strong mark on their resumes and be of great help in their future work. That's right, figure sketching. Sketching can quickly get started with understanding the body shape, human structure, and key joints. Figure sketching has half body and full body, which is more detailed than sketching. It is a deeper version of sketching, so it takes longer. I will teach you sketching and figure sketching this afternoon. You can leave the homework for the evening. Just remember to send it to my email before 12 noon tomorrow. Susiener also gave up at this moment. She taught these people well this afternoon and stopped playing games. Otherwise, she would never be able to finish the comic Book of Life and Death by herself. She also knew that page updates were unreliable. A chapter of a novel could tell one thing, but a page of a comic could tell nothing. How could she win first place? By that time, the rookie competition would be over, and she would probably only have 2 or 3 chapters. She still had to help her aunt pay off her debts, and she still owed Chen Rui 3.6 million. If she didn't work hard, she would be in trouble. The artists naturally had no objections, or they were more looking forward to the so-called character sketches. This was a real opportunity to learn and improve. If you don't seize it, you will probably regret it for the rest of your life. Ask me if you don't understand anything, and, muscle style is strictly prohibited in my class, Susiener snorted. In her eyes, muscle style is simply anti-human. It was really because she was irritated by the fan when she first came here. Now she feels uncomfortable when she sees muscle style, and her psychological shadow is very heavy. No problem. When the sketch didn't appear, the artists thought that the whole afternoon would be wasted. Now, they are very much looking forward to the class later. Yang Shen was excited. It was difficult to get into the painting world. Many masters wanted to expand the circle of painters, but they had no way to do so. Now that the sketch appeared, he realized that as long as it was promoted, the painting world would definitely be full of vitality, not to mention the comics circle. The era of 100 schools of thought in the comics circle may be coming. Miobi Teacher Guardian Association Group Number 601399852 created a fan group. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Sheng Wu. Chapter 64. After Susiener's lecture, when everyone was asked to sketch in pairs, the time came to 12 o'clock. Vietnam University, male dormitory. Oh no, this retarded ADC, come on, Li Xiangdong slapped the keyboard with an angry look on his face. I told you to stop playing this mentally retarded game. It makes you so angry. Yeching was currently chatting nonsense in the Miyobi Teacher Guardian Association group. As the manager of a group of fans, Yeching must ensure that he is active every day. Of course, the main reason is to prevent the group members from racing. Although their idols are veteran drivers, if the group is always filled with pictures of fighting and fighting, sooner or later they will be blocked. It's so annoying. Why hasn't the idol drawn the third episode? It's been a week since the second episode came out. The third episode is Sister Yu. My favorite type. Yuan Dong lay on the bed and opened the game again. I refreshed the app and found that the third episode was not out yet. Did you forget the announcement from Tencent Animation this morning? Teacher Miyobi is a college entrance examination student, and the other party has gone to participate in the newcomer comic competition. I guess there is not much time. As far as I know, if you want to get ahead in the comics circle, drawing orthodox comics is the best way. The best. Yeching said with a hint of resentment in his tone. Miyobi had dragged him out of the sex bar, but now he was drawing orthodox comics. As fans of Miyobi, they were quite complaining. But there is nothing they can do about the choice of idols, mainly because the reputation in the book world is really not good. So basically all the fans expressed their support, saying that as long as teacher Miyobi doesn't forget to draw the notebook, they would be satisfied if they could find time to draw an episode every month, but now it seems uncertain. Then the Book of Life and Death has only drawn one page. I don't even know what the plot is, and there's nothing interesting about it. Yuan Dong sighed. Now he only looks at the wonderful writing in the book. As for the others, just looking at it now makes me want to vomit, but many comic book artists said they would go back to imitating the style of Miyobi. Thinking about this, Yuan Dong logged into the Bilibili client with his mobile phone to see the ghost beasts. As soon as he logged in, he was notified that the version had been updated, and this update was still mandatory. Yuan Dong had no choice but to wait. After a few minutes, the update is completed. When Yuan Dong opened the Bilibili client again, he always went directly to the homepage in the past, but something was different today, which made him stunned. What appeared in front of him were two Q-version characters. A Q-version little girl was holding a wine glass larger than her body. Next to him was a Q-version character lying on the quilt, yawning and shaking his head. He clinked his wine glass with the little girl next to him. Behind the two of them was a small Bilibili TV. The picture was frozen for about 3 seconds, and Yuan Dong entered the homepage of Station B. These should be the two Bilibili Niangs, Yuan Dong muttered. There were rumors that Station B was going to launch Bilibili Niangs. The full name is Bilibili Niangs, also known as 2233 Niangs. 22 is the elder sister and 33 is the younger sister. Now at first glance, it is quite pleasing. After entering the homepage, he found that he had to log in again. Then Yuan Dong found that the login page also had 2233, but the two people's faces seemed to be rounder, and when he entered the password, the two of them covered their eyes. This situation greatly increased his interest. Then he flipped through the refurbished version and found that the client was full of these two cute creatures. Of course, the designers of Station B designed it just right and would not make people think about some of 2233's features on the client. I feel bored in embellishment. While Yuan Dong was experiencing the new version of the client, Yeching suddenly yelled, almost scaring him so much that he fell off the bed. Damn it, are you sick? Before Yuan Dong started scolding, Li Xiangdong directly complained, I am convinced by this mentally retarded mid-laner. Seeing that the other party was scolding the game, Yuan Dong shouted, Yeching, come here, I'll give you a debuff. Come here quickly, Station B has been revised. Oh, I just logged into the client and found out about the revision. No, The client is different from the web page, and there is also news that the idol will be broadcast live at Station B. Yeching looked excited at this time, as if he had discovered something incredible, and the emotion in his eyes was extremely strange. Idol live broadcast? What is the live broadcast? Do you live broadcast a drawing book? How do you know? There is also a notification on the client. Yuan Dong sprayed a mouthful of Coca-Cola directly onto the ground and said in disbelief, "Is this really a live broadcast drawing book?" With that said, Yuan Dong threw away his phone, picked up a tissue and wiped his mouth, came to Yeching's side, looked at the revised website of Station B and exclaimed, "Holy shit, is this a real person? It's so beautiful." What caught Yuan Dong's eyes was the PC page of Station B at this time. The entire page actually had no changes. What had changed was the background. When I used a computer to browse the website of Station B, the background on the left and right sides was blank. At this time, there is a huge portrait of a beautiful girl on the left. She has fluffy aqua hair, and the hair in her hair is standing up. Her whole body is lying on the interface, and she is holding a struggling Q version 22 in one hand. Covering his mouth with one hand, he yawned, and his crystal tears were shed by the yawn. His whole person exuded a lazy mood. He was wearing cool blue and white clothes and a short skirt. If you scroll down on the web page, you can see her slender white jade legs and bare jade feet are slightly bent and very playful. On the right is a girl with light blue hair, ponytail, and a sidelong hair. She looks a little dull and serene, half lying on the interface quietly, holding a Q version 33 in both hands. At this time, Q version 33 looks at Q version 22 being abused on the left, and anxiously asks the girl for help, but the girl is obviously indifferent, without any desire to help, and quietly looks at her sister lying on the interface. The whole picture is beautiful and harmonious. Yuan Dong was really shocked. Are these two the station girls found by B Station? Are they real people or painted? They should be fake. Yeching frowned. Although they look like real people, it can be clearly seen that they are painted. What Yeching said is right. B Station has been considering this week. At first, they thought that they could just put the photos of Susiener and Lin Jingshu, but when they really designed it, they found that it was not appropriate. First, there is a big gap between Susiener and Lin Jingshu in terms of appearance. Susiener doesn't need to wear makeup. Her bare face can make all the domestic actresses who wear makeup look better. Lin Jingshu only wears light makeup, which makes the two of them look not too inconsistent in the photo. Second, the positioning of B Station is the second dimension. The previous setting of the entire B Station has a strong act style. If two real people suddenly appear on the page, there will be a very strong sense of incongruity. Finally, after discussing it over and over again, Susiener, who didn't want to wear a skirt, said that she would solve it. Then, the scene in front of Yeching and Yuan Dong appeared. The two girls were not photos or real people at all. They were painted on. Susiener used a realistic style combined with the second dimension style to completely realistically comic 22 and 33, but it can be seen at a glance that these are character portraits. If compared with real people, they are also 60% similar. Of course, in order to make the characters and the web page harmonious, Susiener also made a hazy treatment, and the whole picture looks much more elegant. This amazed all the staff in the art department, and it was also the reason why Chen Rui kept pestering Susiener to teach the art department. It turned out to be a painting. If the real person looked like this, it would be too cute. Yuan Dong breathed a sigh of relief, looked at the two station girls, and said with interest, "This revision is not bad. Before, both sides were blank and I always felt that something was missing. Now it is much more substantial." Yeching said with a strange look, "I'm not going to tell you this, but this." Click the mouse on the announcement, and then a message appears. Warmly celebrate Bilibili's major revision. The station girls of B Station are online from today. I wonder if you like it? The revised web page and client need everyone's praise and feedback. In addition, the two station girls who play 2233 tonight, that is, the Shuijing Jushi group, will live broadcast on time at 7 p.m. At that time, Sister 33 will sing live, and fans, it's time to listen to the fairy music. And here the announcement lady has to reveal a big news, that is, Shuabai, who plays 22, has another identity. She is the Myobi teacher in the book world. At 7 o'clock in the evening, Sister 22 said that she would live broadcast the drawing of the book. What do you think? Are you shocked by this news? There are still a lot of words behind, but Yuan Dong is completely confused. Seeing Yeching looking at him, Yuan Dong rubbed his head and had not yet reacted. I remember Shuabai is the one who sang Sakura Sakura wants to see you. That's right, she and Jingshu, the up-host, are nicknamed Shuijing Jushi on Weibo. Then the announcement said that Shuabai plays Sister 22. Yes, 2233 is played by Shuabai and Jingshu. Myobi is Shuabai. Yes. Then the Myobi who draws the book is a girl. Create a book friend group, 6013999852. Then answer a few questions. Because I have to work during the day, I write at night, and my hands are clumsy, so I write at night. Most of the time I am writing in a closed group. I may be a lurker, so I can chat during the day. Also, my QQ account is a small one, and it is not easy to expose the privacy of the big account. Covering my face. If you have any suggestions, you can send a book review or private message me on QQ. I will answer them when I see them, but I can't reply to the book review due to the problem of my mobile phone. Finally, the author is a man. Why is he considered a girl? Leftward arrow. Leftward arrow. How can a girl write this kind of novel? Also, the group seems to be dead in 2 hours, let's have some chat to liven up the atmosphere. Finally, please recommend. OVO. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Sheng Wu. Chapter 65. Following Yuan Dong's scream, the news spread rapidly across the internet like a tornado. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward arrow Diamond Suit. Diamond Suit. There were rumors about the revision of Station B in the past 2 days, and today a large part of the users updated it at 12 o'clock, mainly because they were curious about the station girls launched by Station B. The Q version of Client 2233 is indeed Q to many people. The two large pictures on the PC side are also shocking, mainly because the style of painting is simply invincible. Some painters who like to visit Bilibili were directly shocked and frantically asked who painted these. In this world where muscle style is taking shape, the realistic style of these two beautiful girls has subverted the entire painting circle. Of course, the painter inquired about the news and soon found out. Because the news inside the announcement is even more shocking. That wonderful pen, the wonderful pen that drew the notebook and the pen that sang Sakura Sakura wants to see you are actually the same person? The most important thing is the notebook, the notebook. It's that kind of extremely shameful thing, and the person who drew it was actually a girl. 17-year-old high school student. Fans of Myobi are going crazy. They were the first group of people to learn that Myobi was a 17-year-old college entrance examination student. Susiener said it herself, so some of them also told the outside world, but most people didn't believe it until Tencent made an announcement. Only people in the industry know about it. But now, it turns out that the wonderful artist who drew the book is not only a college entrance examination student, but also a girl. Not just a girl, but also a pen? Fans of ink pens were also stunned. Myobi. Who is Myobi? You'd better not know, your outlook on life will collapse. I believe it now, this world is full of wonders. By the way, will teacher Myobi lick it? What should I do? I'm so excited. Teacher Miyobi is actually a girl. Oh my god, I can't stop the overwhelming power in my body. Who is Miyobi? Are you paralyzed? Are you going to tell me? Why does time pass so slowly? I want to watch Miyobi's live broadcast of the drawing book, and I also want to watch Miyobi. When I think that the wonderful pen is a woman, I feel so ashamed. I actually read the book drawn by a girl and draw a sword to kill myself every day. I won't stop until I die. Who is Miyobi? Shuijing Jushi Weibo, which had been silent for a long time, became lively again. A group of fans who knew about Miyobi all left shocking messages below, while some people who didn't know the reason were forced to do some popular science, and then they were shocked. God. However, compared with the last time Sakura wants to meet you, the storm was much smaller and it only spread among the fan base. But the comics world was shocked again, and the comics house rioted again. From now on, I will be a big fan of Miyobi. I will criticize anyone who dares to follow her rhythm. I will ask you if you accept the girl's drawings. The original poster is also a B station driver. I was very curious about station girls, so I updated the version as soon as possible. As a result, the painting style of the two girls on the PC page surprised me. I originally thought it was, another Miyobi is about to appear, even better than Miyobi. The two girls are brought to life by blending the realistic style with the two-dimensional style, especially the eyes. For the first time, I have seen eyes that are more lively than real people. When I saw the announcement, I was immediately stunned. The 22nd station girl at Station B turned out to be Miyobi, and Miyobi was the water pen that caused a lot of commotion on Weibo some time ago. At that time, I slapped myself, feeling like I was dreaming. Then I took a closer look and found that the ink pen was actually the wonderful pen, and the wonderful pen turned out to be a girl. I'm convinced, I'm really convinced this time. Nothing will surprise me in the future. Also, I have officially become a fan of Miyobi. Who dares to follow the rhythm of Miyobi teacher in the comic home in the future and start trolling without saying a word? Is the news from the poster true? Oh my god, these 2 days have been all about Miyobi. I was already a little annoyed. Can we discuss the comics, but then you told me that Miyobi is a girl. I really want to ask Meow by what mood he was in when he drew the book. Meet you at the Miyobi live broadcast room at 7 o'clock in the evening. I just went to Station B. Can you tell me how you drew the two girls on the homepage? I feel like my life was in vain. How did you draw this? Should I quit the comic circle? Rare animals like Miyobi should indeed be protected. As time went by, more and more people learned about the news and expressed disbelief. The dozen or so fan groups of Miyobi had already started rioting, and the news reached 99 in almost a second or two. No wonder they are excited, no wonder they are excited. There are very few girls who draw comics. What's more, the girl who draws the book is not good at all. Some fans held their chests and felt so excited that they almost fainted. At this time, Susiener's private chat had already exploded, but she was still working as a teacher at Station B and had no time to surf the internet. What? The wonderful pen is a water pen. Where did you get the news? Just when the comic circle was in chaos, Zhao Jing also received the news and couldn't help but be shocked. Station B Luoyang looked strange, and the announcement of Station B said that Miyobi will broadcast the drawing book live at 7 o'clock in the evening. Live broadcast drawing book, Zhao Jing almost shouted, isn't Station B afraid of being blocked? Although both Benzi and Lifen are legal, if they are shown openly and live broadcast, if someone reports them, the site will be blocked. Probably not. Luoyang smiled, knowing that Zhao Jing didn't understand live broadcasting. There is a kind of black technology in the live broadcast industry. People at Station B who can watch Miyobi live broadcast will only have ID cards that are over 17 years old when registering an account. Only people can watch it. I see Zhao Jing nodded when he heard this, but then frowned. I didn't expect Station B to take the lead. According to Zhao Jing's idea, MioB will become famous in the newcomer comic competition, and then expose the other party's identity. If the time comes and publicizes it again with Tencent News, Susiener will definitely gather a lot of fans. But now the sudden appearance of Station B has disrupted his chances. Zhao Jing said with a headache, the identity was exposed too quickly. Actually, it's better to expose it now, Lu Yang smiled. Before, we didn't know that the other party was still a pen, but now we know, and the book of life and death has no foundation now. If we really pounce, we will expose the girl's identity with a clever pen. The website data performance will never be bad. People in the editorial department were worried that readers would cause trouble with Susiener's amount of updates. After all, everyone likes to read notebooks, and not necessarily the orthodox comics with wonderful strokes. Moreover, the Book of Life and Death is only one page, but now, readers' tolerance is much greater. This can be seen from the Cartoon Home Forum. Before, a group of cartoonists were still laughing at Susiener for drawing a page, but today their attitude changed completely. Nothing else, just because Miyabi is a girl. If this were in other circles, this would definitely not be the case. After all, she is just a girl. Do I have to tolerate you just because you are a woman? He will probably spray even more fiercely to show his high moral integrity. But the comics industry is different. Female cartoonists are basically extinct, let alone book cartoonists, so wonderful writing is definitely the rarest of rarest. It's no wonder that both cartoonists and readers are so excited. Susiener is now more precious than the giant panda in the cartoon world. That's right, Zhao Jing nodded. Pay attention to the website data in the afternoon and see if the website has increased today, whether it is big or not. If the increase is high, we will promote it after the rookie competition is over. No problem. Should we watch the live broadcast tonight? Look, why don't you look, just to see how popular MioB is now. Book Club Group, 6013999852. I'm afraid those who join the group are not all fake and don't speak at all. Please vote for recommendation. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 66. Chairman, we don't have enough customer service staff. Can you call in more people to help? In the office of the chairman of Station B, although Chen Rui was at work, he was in a nervous mood. Whether the revision of Station B can be successful or not represents the path that Station B will take in the future, and whether future plans need to be changed. As a result, just as he was thinking about it, the leader of the customer service team called with an urgent tone, and he could vaguely hear the phone ringing on the other side of the phone, almost continuously. Chen Rui's heart tightened, he took a deep breath, frowned and said seriously, how could it be not enough? There are too many people calling for consultation. The customer service team leader smiled bitterly. In the previous life, Station B was already a well-known two-dimensional website in the country at the end of 2016. Young people would have heard of Station B's name more or less. Its daily online number per capita was more than 800,000, and by night during prime time, it is easy to break through 1 million, and when there are more people, many viewers have more things to consult, so the customer service team also has more people. But in this world, before Susiener Sakura Wants to See You appeared, the average daily number of people at Station B was about 70,000, and the highest number of people online was about 150,000. After the appearance of Sakura Wants to See You, something has changed. The improvement also surprised some people who didn't know about Station B. After all, other video websites have more people, but the quality of the barrage is very poor. The barrage environment at Station B is good, and young people are stationed there, so the barrage is also very thick. So after Sakura Wants to See You Weibo incident, a small number of people stayed. Of course, on the day of the hot search, The highest number of people online at Station B exceeded 1 million, but Chen Rui also knew that this could not be used as a reference. After the subsequent turmoil passed, the average number of people online per day on the website reached about 100,000. Facing the major domestic video sites, the current B site is not even considered middling. Therefore, in Chen Rui's view, even if the number of online calls per capita increases, it is impossible for the customer service team to have insufficient manpower. They are not a game. Companies face inquiries from various players every day. However, Chen Rui knows that the version has been revised today, and some people should ask, but it is impossible that there is not enough manpower, right? Chen Rui explained his doubts. After hearing this, the customer service team leader smiled bitterly and said, "We didn't expect that there would be so many people calling, and most of them were asking whether the announcement was true." Some people were pestering the customer service to ask, "Are 22 and 33 pretty? Are Miao and a real girl?" There are also questions about the live broadcast room number and who drew the two girls on the PC. "This is not an announcement," Chen Rui said, suddenly reacting. "That's right, except for Susiener and Lin Jingshu's live broadcast room numbers, they have more or less explained everything else. You must know that they are official announcements. But why do these fans still call their customer service to ask? Isn't it just because I can't believe it? So why can't I believe it? It's not because I'm excited and want to find customer service to get a personal answer and confirmation. And now the customer service manpower is not enough, which means that the fans of Susiener and Lin Jingshu have reached a certain level." And if he guessed correctly, most of them were fans of Susiener. In this way, if anyone consults again, you can. Chen Rui looked at the time and said, "Let them wait for the new notice at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I will ask other staff who are currently idle to help relieve the pressure." Okay, the customer service team leader breathed a sigh of relief. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Station B officially issued another announcement. The announcement girl came out to send a message again. In view of the enthusiasm of the friends, the customer service girls can hardly support it anymore, so this announcement collects most of the questions from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and after screening, answers to the most frequently asked questions a question. First, 2233 is played by a duo that was very popular on Weibo. Sister 22 plays the role of Shuabai, and Sister 33 plays the role of Jingshu. Secondly, please rest assured about the appearance of site girls. Although Site B is a small unknown site, the two girls who can become site girls must be very, very beautiful, and the two new girls who appeared on the PC web page immediately. The real-life appearance of painting, ink brush, and static calligraphy is about 60–70% similar. Thirdly, the portrait of the girl on the PC version was created by a wonderful artist. Are you shocked? Fourth, the live broadcast room number of 22 is 198,117, and the live broadcast room number of 33 is 19,811. As soon as this announcement was made, the programmer at Station B, who had been paying attention to the data, discovered that the two live broadcast rooms of Susiener and Lin Jingshu were instantly filled with people. Teacher Miyobi, here I come. Is it the third episode of Susien series that I drew tonight? What should I do? I'm so excited. Damn it, it's only around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there are still 4 hours until the live broadcast, and you're here to guard it. If you don't see Mr. Miyobi out of this live broadcast room today, I will be here permanently. 666666666. Do you think Mr. Miyobi will show his face during the live broadcast? The programmer of Station B took a peek at the screen and couldn't help but be convinced. It was only 3 o'clock at this time, and Susiener's live broadcast room had thousands of people in the blink of an eye, and the number of followers converted by each viewer was basically 1:1. This data is still increasing rapidly. Lin Jingshu's live broadcast room is growing slowly, but this is within the scope of their predictions. After all, although Lin Jingshu was the up-host of Station B before, her reputation in the music area was not high until she released Susiener's Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. It became popular. After further observation, I found that the barrage was all talking nonsense, discussing how Susiener was doing and venting their inner excitement. Obviously, the announcement at noon today really scared a lot of people, but after a few hours, everyone accepted this crazy setting. But even though they accepted it, it didn't mean that they didn't look forward to it, especially the identity of Susiener's wonderful pen and water brush, coupled with the gimmick of live broadcasting the drawing book. It was very exciting. Susiener naturally didn't know that although her live broadcast room was dark at this time, there were a lot of fans waiting for the arrival at 7 o'clock. In just half an hour, the number of fans had exceeded 20,000, and it was still increasing. At this time, Susiener was painting a character sketch, and the model was still Lime. A group of artists whose minimum age was over 23 or 24 years old looked at the quartz paper on the drawing board in front of Susiener with astonishment on their faces, while Yang Shen and Wang Su looked even more excited, as if they had seen some treasure. Usually, the eyes are fixed on the picture without wanting to move away for a moment, and the ears are straightened up, not wanting to miss every word or sentence that Susiener said. Before drawing a half-length figure sketch, you don't start by writing, but first by observing. First of all, you must pay attention to the proportions, dynamics, angles, heights, and front-to-back relationships between the various parts of the head. You must concentrate on the portrait of the character's head, and don't ignore it. The fine details of the character's facial expressions are the key to success. Otherwise, the character sketches will appear monotonous and the expressions of the characters will be dull. The same is true for cartoons. As Susiener spoke, she yawned and rubbed her eyes, feeling a little sleepy. It's all because I got up too early in the morning, and I had to teach these elementary school students sketching and character drawing at noon. I didn't have to take a break in the middle, because these people who had just studied had many problems. But she had to teach, because Book of Life and Death still relied on these people to complete it. As long as they taught it, in the name of assigning homework, everyone would draw a draft every day, and she could update one chapter a day. Even if there is no cheating in time travel, it will happen faster than cheating. 10 minutes later, Susiener finished the drawing, checked it over, and nodded with satisfaction. She started this character sketch at 12:30 and finished it at 3 o'clock. It took nearly 3 hours, mainly during lectures. The drawing is finished. You can find a company employee to be a model for the rest of the time, and then get started. Susiener pointed to the character sketch she drew. You can observe it for 10 minutes first. If it were a group of real students, Susiener would definitely not teach them, because it would be a waste of time. But these people are all artists with a solid foundation. They only need a little guidance, and the primary students planted now will definitely grow into her free coolies in the future. This deal is a guaranteed profit, but Susiener said she was very tired when she thought about the live broadcast at night. Please vote for recommendation OVO. Book Club Group, 6013999852. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 67. At 6:50 p.m., Chen Rui hurriedly finished dinner outside and returned home. He came to the computer and turned on the hands-free function of his mobile phone. Although he was anxious, he asked calmly, "How many people are there in the live broadcast rooms 22 and 33 now?" There were still 10 minutes left until 7 p.m., but since the announcement of B Station had announced the news of Susiener and Lin Jingshu's live broadcast since 3 p.m., and even the room numbers. So how many people can gather in the live broadcast rooms of the two people in these 4 hours is what Chen Rui is concerned about. In addition, With the revision today, the customer service received a lot of good reviews at noon, basically praising the amazing web design. However, Chen Rui still has a bottom line in his heart. The muscle style is rampant in China. The emergence of this style of painting is still realistic and integrated with the second-dimensional style. When they saw it at the beginning, they were directly shocked, not to mention those otakus. Once this style of painting comes out, it will definitely become popular as long as it is spread. Even ordinary people can see it. Unfortunately, B-Station is now a small website in front of major domestic video websites, and its influence is not enough to promote it. At 7 o'clock tonight, Susianur and Lin Jingshu will broadcast live. Before joining B-Station, the two had been popular on B-Station before, and after Susianur's promotion, the average number of people on B-Station increased by 20,000 to 30,000, so he was naturally more looking forward to this live broadcast. However, in the afternoon, because I had to go out for public relations, I didn't have time to go to B-Station to see the number of people in the two live broadcast rooms. Now I'm home and call the programmer directly. The number of people in room 33 is now 460,000, and the number of people in room 22, at this point, the programmer paused and said with a tremor, it has exceeded 3 million, and the number of people watching the two live broadcasts of one IP together accounts for 150,000. It's almost 7 o'clock now. Under normal circumstances, the number of people at this time has basically reached a peak. At 7 o'clock, there will be another peak, but this number obviously exceeds Chen Rui's expectations. He exhaled and asked in shock, how much? The number of people in room 22 is now 3.2 million, and it is still increasing, the programmer repeated, and then said, because I am afraid that the server will be stuck, delayed, black screen and other accidents in the future, I have turned on the backup server to divert the traffic. 3,200,000. After being stunned, Chen Rui's heartbeat suddenly accelerated, and the whole person became excited. At this time, it is getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock, but this already means that their B-Station has taken the first step towards success. What is the concept of 3,200,000? If you really want to compare, although the number of people in Susianur's live broadcast room in an instant cannot reach the level of Du Yukai, Malashi, Dianshi, and Panda PDD, you can already see the backs of these top live broadcasters. However, Chen Rui did not lose his mind. He knew that the reason why so many people could gather was entirely because Susianur was full of legendary colors and news bodies. With the pen names Miobi and Shuabai. A manga artist who draws books in books is like a supreme god. The exposure of this pen name will attract a large number of fans and some cartoonists to come and watch. The stage name Shuabai is even more famous. She is favored by the Queen Asada Sayori and the King Chen Xiao. At the beginning, her Weibo account dominated the hot searches on Weibo for 3 whole days. There is no interruption in the news in reality and on the internet, but Susianur and Lin Jingshu obviously did not think too much. As time passed, this wave of opportunities was missed by the two. If Chen Rui guessed correctly, most of the people in the live broadcast room might be people in the comics industry. After all, Shuijing Jushi's Weibo did not post a message for a few days, and many fans gradually cooled down. Only some people who like Sakura wants to see you very much will know this news. Thinking of this, Chen Rui turned on the computer, logged into B-Station directly, and then entered Susianur's room number. He saw that the number of people was 3.3 million, and it only took a few seconds to increase by 100,000. Looking at the densely packed bullet comments in the dark live broadcast room, with several layers of thickness, Chen Rui took a deep breath, and he knew he succeeded. Whether this live broadcast can be done well depends on Susianur. It's almost 7 o'clock. So excited, I've been waiting for 4 hours. Are you really going to live broadcast the drawing book? So embarrassing. Is this going to witness the birth of the third episode of the Susien series? The image of teacher Shuabai in my heart has completely collapsed, but, why am I so excited? A small number of people have been waiting on the web since 3 o'clock in the afternoon, while most people have entered the live broadcast room one after another since 5 o'clock. Now that 7 o'clock is approaching, everyone is excited. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Here it comes, the time to witness the miracle has come. My heart is beating so fast, teacher Miobi, I love you. With the arrival of 7 o'clock, some people who don't like to post bullet comments can't stand the atmosphere at this time, and they start to post bullet comments by typing on the keyboard. Countless spicy snacks, bikila, 100 million yuan and even small TVs were swiped, and the reward dominated the screen in an instant, which shocked the audience and anchors who received the news indirectly from other live broadcasts, and they ran over to watch. However, after a minute or two, everyone found that the screen was still dark, and they were confused. Is it stuck? It's still dark here. There are too many people, it's probably stuck. More than 3 million people, are you sure they are all real people? Nonsense, Bilibili is different from other live broadcast websites. Since it is a small website, it is too lazy to fake it. This barrage made Chen Rui blush, but he was also curious and couldn't help but call the programmer. 33's live broadcast room has been opened, and 22 himself has not opened the live broadcast room. After getting this answer, looking at the barrage, they all expressed curiosity. Some people who opened 2 web pages also knew that Lin Jingshu had opened a live broadcast, and they all came to say that Jingshu had already opened a live broadcast, so why was it still dark here? Chen Rui couldn't help but get anxious, and directly asked the programmer to use the identity of the super administrator to send a message to Lin Jingshu's live broadcast room. Lin Jingshu, who was broadcasting live, received this message and was stunned, and then said to the audience, I'll go see what 22 is doing. Lin Jingshu came to the door of Susiener's bedroom, pushed the door open, and found that the room was dark. After turning on the light, she looked at Susiener sleeping soundly on the bed and couldn't help but hold her forehead. She didn't wake him up, the most urgent thing was to open the live broadcast room. Then Lin Jingshu turned on Susiener's computer, then turned on the live broadcast software, and finally turned on the camera. Here I come. Where is she? Oh my god, why is the camera pointed at the drawing board? This is cheating. I want to see the real person. Just as the audience was shouting, they heard a voice from the live broadcast room. Student Su, get up quickly, don't sleep, have you forgotten that you have to live broadcast tonight? Lin Jingshu shook Susiener's delicate body, feeling helpless. Today, she and Chen Shui came back from shopping and saw that Susiener's bedroom door was closed. She thought she was working, so she didn't disturb her. It turned out that she was sleeping. In less than 3 seconds, Susiener was shaken awake. She looked at Lin Jingshu with sleepy eyes and said in a daze, I didn't forget to live broadcast, but I set the alarm, but the ring didn't ring. Isn't it not 7 o'clock yet? When she got home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Susiener felt sleepy and went back to the bedroom to sleep. Of course, in order to prevent herself from falling behind, she set the alarm. She was used to light sleep and knew that she would wake up as long as the ring rang. As a result, she didn't hear the ring. It shouldn't be 7 o'clock yet? You set the alarm to vibrate, there is no ring, Lin Jingshu couldn't help complaining. Puff, 233333. Are you actually sleeping? The alarm is set to vibrate, I give you full marks for this self-deception. The voice is so cute, so soft, and completely different from the voice when singing. I haven't even seen her yet, but I'm actually conquered by the voice of teacher Miobi. Sure enough, everyone who sings has a good voice. Teacher, don't sleep, get up and draw in your notebook. I really want to hug teacher Miobi and sleep together. Although they could only see the hand-painted board, the audience who heard the sound could imagine the scene in their minds, and they couldn't help but send comments with excitement. Chen Rui looked at the scene with surprise. He thought there would be a riot in the comments, but even if Susiener didn't show her face, she seemed to have a kind of charm, and no one was dissatisfied. Chen Rui obviously didn't know how shocking and exciting it would be when the news that Miyobi was a girl spread in the comics world, so they didn't care much about Susiener being late for 1 or 2 minutes. At this time, Susiener looked at the time and found that it was already past 7 o'clock. She woke up in surprise and said, "I'll wash up." "Hurry up, I'll go back to the room to live broadcast first." Lin Jingshu saw that Susiener had woken up and breathed a sigh of relief. "I have opened the live broadcast software for you, you can just live broadcast later." "Okay." A few minutes later, Susiener came directly to the computer after washing up. She was shocked when she saw the number of people in the room, 4 million people. "I'm afraid that Bilibili is cheating." As she said this, Susiener covered her mouth, remembering that she was already live broadcasting, so the audience wouldn't hear what she said. As a result, as soon as she finished speaking, a golden bullet screen with the Super Administrator logo flowed out. 22, Bilibili is a small website, it can't be fake, your audience are real people, not fake people. I burst out laughing. Miyobi teacher woke up and directly angrily criticized Bilibili. In an instant, I became a fake person. I'm afraid this live broadcast room is all fake. 2333, the Super Administrator hurriedly explained. Why can't I see the screen? It's pitch black, I want to see Miyobi teacher. Seeing that the bullet screen didn't seem to be taken seriously, Susiener breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't live broadcast in her previous life, but she had watched live broadcasts and knew that she couldn't talk nonsense during live broadcasts. The screen is black, Susiener asked curiously, are there many people who can't see the screen? Yes, I can't see it. Miyobi teacher, please set up the camera. The screen is pitch black, I can't see the screen at all. Seeing that many bullet screens said that their screens were pitch black, Susiener opened the live broadcast software to debug it, and then asked, and found that many bullet screens still said that they couldn't see the screen. Susiener stared blankly. She didn't understand some of the problems with live broadcasting. Finally, she looked at the camera next to the drawing board and thought of the comments saying that there must be something wrong with the camera. She couldn't help but pick it up to see if it was true. When the entire camera was facing her, a second later, Susiener seemed to think of something and reacted, and turned the camera to the side. At this time, there was a gap in the dense barrage, and time seemed to stop for a moment, leaving only a few barrages. You bastards, you actually tricked me, Susiener said angrily. Thanks to some unscientific red and white for becoming the leader. Please recommend this chapter is 3,300 words, not short. OVO. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 68. An hour ago, before 7 o'clock, when the live broadcast had not started, more than 1 million people had gathered in the live broadcast room. And those who were bored were joking in the live broadcast room, chatting about everything. Of course, most of them were talking about Susiener. Everyone was shocked that Miyobi was actually a girl, which aroused people's imagination. Then suddenly there was a barrage in the live broadcast room asking what if Miyobi teacher didn't show his face, wouldn't it be a waste of time? You know, although B Station said that Shuijing Jushi combined to become the actor of 2233, and said that both of them were very beautiful, but no one had seen them, so naturally they didn't know, and they were even more curious. After all, it's not that there have been cartoonists who have live broadcast in the past, but they didn't show their faces, just showing their hands and drawing boards there, not to mention how boring it is, even if they draw books, they can't get excited. At that time, Yeching was also chatting with everyone in the live broadcast room. Seeing this issue, he typed directly, "Let's lead the rhythm when the time comes." When this sentence was said, the barrages expressed their understanding. "Of course, we are going to lead the trend and let Teacher Miyobi show his face." Yeching typed quickly, and then said that if Teacher Miyobi didn't show his face, what was the point of coming here? After that, a group of barrages discussed it and said that the plan was feasible. They would act according to circumstances at that time and must let Teacher Miyobi show his face. At 7:02, when Lin Jingsha called Susiener to get up, the confused and soft voice came from the screen, which made people itch. The barrages were even more eager to see what Teacher Miyobi looked like. But when the camera was aimed at the hand-painted board, they knew that Teacher Miyobi didn't want to show his face at all. And one of the barrages suddenly mentioned that the live broadcast was dark and the picture could not be seen. The smart people didn't care whether it was a rhythm or a real thing, and they just followed the trend. Then a group of people seemed to have a tacit understanding and telepathy, and they directly swiped the screen. When the small screen was full of indications that the picture could not be seen, Susiener naturally had to deal with the black screen. As the camera moved with the lens, Yeching, who was sitting in front of the computer screen, widened his eyes. He almost missed it without blinking, and shouted frantically in his heart, "Almost, almost." When the camera was completely aimed at Susiener, the barrage in the entire live broadcast room suddenly stopped. A flawless face appeared in front of them, with slightly blinked eyes and sleepy eyes. It was obvious that she had not really woken up yet, because she had just woken up. Her long black hair was casually draped over her shoulders, fluffy and soft, and her cherry mouth was pink and tender, like jelly pudding, making people want to take a bite. The next moment, the camera suddenly turned and faced the wall directly. "Ah! I want to see more, I want to see more. I didn't see it clearly. Just now, I suffocated. But, I didn't see it clearly. Heaven, angel. Who took a screenshot? Please share it quickly. Please take a picture, it's too fast, I didn't capture it. I took a screenshot, but it's all residual images. I didn't see it clearly either, but the only words in my mind are cute and lovely. Teacher Miyobi, I am willing to dedicate the rest of my life to ask for another look. I finally understand the meaning of the idiom "a glimpse of a startling beauty" now. The barrage was empty for 3 seconds, and it was filled in an instant. Everyone said that they were stunned by the beauty. "You bastards, you actually fooled me," Susiener looked at the barrage and said angrily. She had just woken up and was not very sober yet. Her IQ was still negative. She just followed the rhythm of the barrage. Now she was very angry when she thought about it. As a result, she just finished speaking, but found that the barrage of comments changed, and they were about to quarrel. "Where are the screenshots you promised? I was stunned and forgot. You guys, the rhythm party, are so unprofessional. I want to take a screenshot too. Teacher Miyobi only appeared for 1 second. I can't even see enough, and you still take a screenshot. I wanted to take a screenshot right away, but I was stunned and didn't take a screenshot. Then what's the point of this wave of rhythm? Teacher Miyobi will definitely not show up next time. Aren't you guys trying to alert the enemy?" Susiener saw that no one paid attention to her, and she couldn't help vomiting blood. Her pretty face turned black, and she swung the mouse and said angrily, "No more broadcasting, sleep." When the entire live broadcast room went dark again, the barrage of comments was dumbfounded. Chen Rui, who had been paying attention to the situation, saw this scene and couldn't help but laugh and cry. He didn't expect that the live broadcast room would suddenly change after less than a few minutes of live broadcast, and Susiener was actually angry and left by the barrage of comments. As soon as Susiener left, the barrage of comments in the live broadcast room was directly confused. "What should we do? The teacher is angry with us and left. Miobi dad, no, Miobi mom, please let us live stream. What's going on? We're new here, didn't we agree to live stream at 7 o'clock? Why is the live streaming room dark? After a few seconds, everyone finally reacted and cried in the live streaming room, saying that they were wrong and begged Miobi teacher not to abandon these poor kids who were crying for food. Go find Jingshu. Aren't they living together? With these words, millions of viewers ran to Lin Jingshu's live streaming room to beg for mercy, saying that they knew they were wrong and would never mess around again, and begged Miobi teacher to forgive them. Lin Jingshu, who had just finished singing a song, looked at the barrage with a confused face, and then understood the situation, and couldn't help laughing and crying, "I'll go and see." When Lin Jingshu came to Susiener's bedroom again, she actually found that she had really gone to bed to sleep again, and couldn't help laughing and laughing. Then he looked at the computer that had been turned off, turned it on quietly, and then opened the live broadcast room again. "Oh, it's on, Miobi teacher, we were wrong." Seeing that the live broadcast room was lit again, the barrage quickly expressed that they realized their mistakes, but after swiping the screen, they found that Susiener seemed to be gone. Lin Jingshu said softly, "She seems to have fallen asleep again, I'll go wake her up." Oh my god, she fell asleep again in just a few minutes. She really went to sleep. Why don't you stop broadcasting? It seems that Miobi teacher seems to be really tired. I'll watch the live broadcast while sleeping. A group of barrage thought of Susiener being woken up before, and ended up going to bed and sleeping again. They said that if Susiener was really tired, they could ignore them. Of course, if the camera could be adjusted, they would agree with the live broadcast of sleeping. However, Lin Jingshu didn't see these. She came to the bed and called twice, and found that Susiener was actually really asleep in a daze. Lin Jingshu held her for it. Cruelly shaking Susiener awake, Lin Jingshu said helplessly, "All your viewers have come to my live broadcast room to beg for your forgiveness." Rubbing her eyes, Susiener said angrily, "Forgive me, I think they are fake fans, they played tricks on me at the beginning of the live broadcast." But Susiener still got up after saying that. Seeing this, Lin Jingshu smiled secretly. It seems that her anger has subsided after sleeping for a few minutes. Otherwise, according to her understanding of the other party, Susiener might really stop live broadcasting in a fit of anger. When Susiener went back to the computer, she saw the barrage of comments on the screen, all asking for forgiveness. Susiener snorted twice, but did not respond. She said directly, "One of the activities tonight is that the 4th episode of the Susien series is up to you to decide. While I am drawing the 3rd episode, you can decide what kind of book you want to read for the 4th episode." The barrage of comments was shocked when they heard this. "Any content is okay, teacher Miobi. I want to see the younger sister type. Sister type is the way to go. Why not the maternal type? The sense of immorality is even more complete than that of the ant. You are simply beasts. I want to see teacher Miobi's own book, please satisfy me." When this message appeared, the barrage was once again silent, and then waited for a few seconds, and seeing that Susiener did not lose her temper, the scattered barrages expressed that they also wanted to see it. "Actually, I also want to see teacher Miobi's own book. Ahem, teacher Miobi can draw a lesbian book, just use 2233 as the prototype. I have already thought of the plot for the teacher, how about Susien's sister appearing in the Susien series. You can all think about it slowly tonight, just give me an answer before my live broadcast ends." Susiener tidied up the drawing board, and after finishing it, she looked at the barrage on the computer screen and replied. Obviously, she didn't pay attention just now, and didn't know that in just a few seconds, the fans had already set their sights on her. Please recommend. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 69. The smart barrage reacted very quickly. When Susiener was talking, they stopped brushing to see teacher Miobi's book. However, there are always some barrages that are afraid of chaos in the world or have not yet reacted, and they are still brushing. Looking at the endless barrages asking her to draw her own book, Susiener looked ugly, her little face was tight, and she gritted her teeth and said, "Do you bastards want to die? Where is the super manager? Come out and do something. Want to see her own book? Isn't this a dream?" Although she draws a book, she takes her body very seriously. Yes, she is narcissistic. No one can blaspheme except herself and the female friends she agrees with. Still want to see the book? I'm afraid it's not a spring and autumn daydream. The teacher's voice is so soft when she scolds people, "Please scold me again." Damn, brothers think alike. When the teacher first started live streaming, I was scolded as a bastard and all the pores on my body opened up. Ah! You guys are not right. I thought I was the only one who felt good when being scolded by Miobi teacher. I thought I was the only pervert. It turns out you are all perverts. The main thing is that the teacher's voice is really soft. Scolding people is no different from being a spoiled child. When I think of the teacher's angelic face just now, and then think of the other party's angry scolding, I am a little addicted. Awesome, this live broadcast room may not have gathered all the perverts in China. Brothers are being banned, but you are asking for scolding. I want to say, please take me with you. Hearing Susiener's call, the super administrator hurried out to work, but while banning, the barrage asked Miobi teacher to scold them a few more times, which made Susiener's eyebrows tremble, resisting the urge to scold, and shut up directly. Originally, before the live broadcast, she was looking forward to interacting with fans, because it was very interesting to watch those anchors interact with the barrage. As a result, she was tricked as soon as the live broadcast started, and now she was asked to draw her own book. After being scolded, she was asked to continue scolding. For the first time, Susiener could only raise the white flag and surrender. You are more perverted. The super administrator sent a golden barrage and said, "You guys should be careful with your words. Be careful that teacher Miobi will be pissed off by you again, but I also want to hear you scold me again." System prompt: Super Administrator 01 was banned for 1 hour by Super Administrator 02. Teacher Miobi, please rest assured that you will not see Super Administrator No 01 on Bilibili tomorrow. Puff. I burst into laughter. Are the super administrators of Bilibili so funny? No 01, go well. We will remember you. In order to commemorate No 01, Teacher Miobi, please scold him again. Let him go well. Puff. Susiener was stunned for a moment and couldn't help laughing. She didn't expect that the super administrator of Station B would interact like this. I seem to hear Teacher Miobi laughing. Is it an illusion? 66,666, the super administrator is so good. A hero in the world of picking up girls. This popularity is too scary. Luoyang watched from the side at Zhao Jing's house and couldn't help but take a breath. From the start of the live broadcast to now, Miobi hasn't even started the real live broadcast. He just said a few words and got angry. These viewers are so tolerant. At this time, nearly 20 minutes had passed since Susiener started the live broadcast, but the number of live broadcasts did not decrease but increased. But from beginning to end, Luoyang didn't see any nutritious content. Susiener was even late, got angry, and scolded the audience. If this was on other live broadcast platforms such as Douyu, it would have been sprayed into a sieve. After all, the audience is the bread and butter of the anchor. Popularity represents whether it can sign a contract with the live broadcast website and whether it can gain a foothold in the live broadcast industry. Some female anchors have no bottom line to please the audience. But on Susiener's side, all the rules of the live broadcast room seem to have no effect. Don't look at this live broadcast room with the traditional live broadcast world's thinking compared to Luoyang, who hadn't reacted yet. Zhao Jing saw it clearly. Think about Miyobi's identity first. She pioneered the style of the comics industry and found a way out for people in the comics industry. Whether it was the previous book style or the solid style of Book of Life and Death, it benefited people in the comics industry. And she also exposed the fact that she was a girl, so in the eyes of the cartoonists in the live broadcast room, Miyobi is their baby. As for fans, think about the muscle style in the past, and you can know what the fans think now. What idea? Luoyang was stunned, and quickly reacted. In the past, when the muscle style was rampant, readers could only watch it with their noses pinched. When Susian series appeared, readers were shocked. Some teenagers who were not yet 17 years old even begged for the complete collection of Susian series. In this more harmonious scene than the previous life, Miyobi is the spiritual food of these fans, not to mention that she is a girl. With such a beautiful face, why not do something else but come to draw books? She is simply an angel in the hearts of these readers and fans. She saved them from the evil way of muscle wind. As for scolding, is that scolding? Isn't she just acting cute with them? It has to be said that the imagination of the dead otaku is very scary. They are so excited that even if more than 20 minutes of the live broadcast have passed and Susiener has not done anything, they are still very excited. Or, even if Susiener sleeps during live broadcast, they can watch all night. Don't doubt their current die-hard fans. So when Susiener was angry and didn't broadcast, they panicked. After all, they were the ones who messed up the rhythm first. Although they didn't see what Miyobi teacher looked like very clearly, they only had a glimpse of her, but they were already satisfied. As readers of the comics industry, they naturally know that many comic book artists have imitated Miyobi teacher's style, but even if they imitate, Susiener will always be ranked first in their hearts. Because the current situation in the comic book industry is brought by Miyobi, without Miyobi, there would be no current changing comics industry. Of course, if Miyobi was a man, they would respect him. But when Miyobi was a girl, or a young girl, the gentleman soul in them began to burn. After a series of events, Susiener has learned her lesson and ignores these comments. She uploaded the line drawings she prepared before to the computer, then connected the drawing board, and finally got it done after some tinkering. Okay, let's start the live broadcast now. Susiener looked at the time, and half an hour had passed in a hurry. Then she thought of something and said, by the way, for the second activity, which line drawing can you let me start from? At this time, in the live broadcast room, there were 3 screens in front of the audience. The small screen in the lower right corner was aimed at the drawing board, and the drawing board in the computer occupied most of the screen in the live broadcast room. The last one was a slide, which played more than 20 pages of line drawings repeatedly. The line drawings prepared by Susiener this time were not the line drawings that could not even be called drafts at noon. In this line drawing, the overall characters in the comics were clear, and the body shape and clothing had been drawn to a certain extent. After all, if you start drawing from the beginning, it is estimated that the whole live broadcast will end after 1 page. What's the point of live broadcasting? It's meaningless at all, so Susiener prepared the line drawings for the 3rd episode before. The barrage of comments stared at the line drawings passing by in the slides. This is the 3rd episode of Susien series that they have been looking forward to. Although there is no Chinese in the line drawing, only a simple painting, their hearts are already eager to start. Page 5. Page 5. Start drawing from page 5. Page 5. Page 5. You beasts. When Susiener looked at the barrage and looked at page 5 at almost the same time, she was also stunned. After turning to page 5, she was also speechless, but she did not refuse, then start drawing from page 5. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 70. The third episode, Susian series, although the plot was laid in the second episode, tells the story of the protagonist Susian and his aunt Yeching Cheng. However, since it is a series, it is impossible to ignore the heroines of the previous two episodes. So the content of the entire third episode is that the aunt whose company went bankrupt came to the protagonist Susian's house, and then to express her gratitude, Yeching Cheng said that she could do all the housework in the future. Then one day when Yeching Cheng was cooking in the kitchen, Susian invited the little girl next door, Lin Xiaojing, to visit her home. The two pushed and swore at the table. Lin Xiaojing finally couldn't stand it. She didn't care that as long as Yeching Cheng turned her head, she could see the two of them, and she fought with Susian directly. This battle between the top strong men caused the chaotic energy to overflow and the space to break. The two gritted their teeth and endured the pain without saying a word, but they were eventually discovered by the strongest Yeching Cheng with a keen sense of consciousness. As a woman, Yeching Cheng naturally couldn't watch Lin Xiaojing being bullied, so she joined the battlefield directly. The protagonist Susian fought 1 against 2, holding a magic weapon, with a crazy look on his face, and fought hard. When the audience looked at the line drawing slides of the third episode, they couldn't help but sigh that the plot of the series of stories by Miyabi teacher was becoming less and less logical. But, this is what they like to watch. The kind of book that draws emotional scenes in the first 10 pages without getting into the theme is simply anti-human. As for the content of the 5th page, the whole page is about the protagonist pulling out a sharp sword and piercing Lin Xiaojing's vitals at the dinner table, and while fighting, he was chatting with his aunt Yeching Cheng who had his back to them. This scene basically made all the audience's adrenal hormones rise, and they were all excited, and they just felt so excited. But Susian was speechless. This common routine in the book actually made these guys so excited. Obviously, they were still too young. However, Susian promised the barrage, so she naturally started drawing from this page. Because the line drawing was more detailed, it was faster to draw. Basically, one page could be completed in more than 10 minutes, of course, without writing lines and drawing detailed backgrounds. First time watching a drawing book live. So exciting, so exciting. Type with both hands to prove my innocence. Watching Miyabi teacher's little hands drawing on the drawing board, I lowered my head and looked at the sword, and fell into entanglement and contemplation. With a twitch in my body, the whole live broadcast room instantly became boring. 666666666. Although Susian stopped talking when she started drawing the book, the live broadcast room was heading towards the 5 million mark at this time. With so many people, they could interact and entertain with just the barrage, so everyone didn't feel bored at all. Instead, watching the gradually full characters in the live broadcast room made them more excited. Among the nearly 5 million viewers, there are many cartoonists in it. They didn't send barrages, but turned off the barrages directly and stared at the live broadcast room. That's right, they are stealing. Ever since they learned that Miyabi was going to live broadcast the drawing book, they have been looking forward to this moment. In fact, they hoped that Miyabi could start from the line drawing, but it was obviously impossible. However, it didn't matter. As long as they could watch, they would be satisfied. However, what they didn't know was that Susian's purpose was actually the same. She believed that there must be cartoonists who would watch her live broadcast, which was exactly what she wanted. After all, her fundamental purpose was to promote the painting style, let the painting style of this world return to normal, and strive to achieve the situation of 100 schools of thought in the previous life. Then she would not have to draw comics, but start her new life. At this time, Chiao Mo also looked at the live broadcast room and the terrifying number of people in the live broadcast room. For some reason, he was very glad that the new comic competition was cross-examined by the reviewers instead of speaking with website data. Otherwise, with this terrifying number of fans, he could crush all the contestants. When the time came to 8:50, a golden bullet screen suddenly appeared. The time is gradually approaching 9 o'clock, and the live broadcast of 2233 is about to end. In the last 10 minutes, 2233 will try their best to fulfill everyone's wish. Of course, content that is not suitable for children is not allowed. When the super administrator bullet screen appeared, all the bullet screens suddenly stagnated. 9 o'clock. Nima, it's already 9 o'clock. Time flies so fast. Go. Go. Where did my time go? I set the time to 7 o'clock, so can Miobi teacher live broadcast for another 2 hours? Is this instant noodle show? The bullet screens were surprised, and then looked at the time and found that it was really 9 o'clock. 2 hours of live broadcast time just passed like this? There are still 9 minutes, please make a wish quickly. The super administrator bullet screen appeared again. Then, sing. Sakura Sakura wants to see you, please sing with me 2233. When I listened to the MV before, I wanted to listen to the live singing of teacher Shuabai. The barrage suddenly wished to sing. Obviously they were all fans of Susiener's Shuabai artistic name, and the fans under the Miobi artistic name had no objection to this. After all, although Susiener was a cartoonist who drew books and was labeled as a little dirty girl by them, they all liked and respected their idol very much, and naturally would not make excessive requests. Seeing this, the super administrator contacted Susiener and Lin Jingshu, and informed them of the barrage wish, which was actually one of the activities. Susiener did not refuse, or rather, she was relieved. Singing is better than asking her to wear a skirt or be asked to cosplay her own heroine. After a minute or two of debugging, Susiener and Lin Jingshu directly started the voice chat. The song Sakura Sakura Wants to See You is a song of the RSP group. It is a duet between Matsuo Aoi and Yayama Sakiko. Now that she was asked to sing it together, Susiener naturally had no reason to refuse. Anyway, it was just singing casually, and then going to bed quickly. Now she was so sleepy. After the two of them were ready to discuss it, they suddenly spoke out in the expectation of the barrage. Sakura Sakura, I want to see you, I want to see you now. It doesn't matter, don't cry anymore, I am the wind, surrounding you. Sakura Sakura, I want to see you, I want to see you now. Thank you, I have always liked you the most. I am Chen Xing, and I will always watch over you and protect you. I'm so impressed when I hear it. The duet has a different flavor. When I hear this song, I think of that MV, tears in my eyes. Miobi and Jingshu's voices are so moving. When the two of them spoke one after another, the barrage of comments praised them. The voices continued, and the fairy music was still ringing. I can't stay here anymore, I have to leave, I'm really sorry. I have to go far away alone, I have to leave. Where to? Don't ask, why, don't ask, I'm really sorry. I can't be by your HAWU side anymore. When the song was halfway through, the dense barrage of comments suddenly heard a strange sound, and it suddenly became deserted, and the song stopped abruptly at this time. Just now, was that the sound of yawning? 23333333. It seems that teacher Miobi yawned in the middle of singing. Puff. Teacher Miobi, how can you be so cute? I can't help it, I'm touched by her cuteness, too cute. Alas, why is the live broadcast room dark? Teacher Miobi ran away. Lin Jingshu wanted to continue singing, but when she heard Susiener yawning, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She knew that she probably couldn't sing this song anymore. Sure enough, looking at the barrage, she found out that Susiener didn't even say goodbye to the audience and turned off the live broadcast directly. Well, since 22 ran away with cuteness, I'll leave too. Lin Jingshu also hurriedly said hello to the barrage, and under the farewell of the barrage, she turned off the live broadcast room, and then ran directly to Susiener's room, and found that she covered her head with the quilt. Obviously, even Susiener, who has always been heartless, was too ashamed at this time. The live broadcast is finally finished. Who? Please recommend. Transformed into a comic book artist. Author, Miao by Shen Wu. Chapter 71. Lin Jingshu comforted her for a long time before Susiener, who was almost bursting with shame, got better. I will never broadcast live again. Tonight's live broadcast caused a great psychological shadow to Susiener, a double blow both mentally and physically. Lin Jingshu smiled, obviously thinking about the scene of the other party singing and yawning, which was very interesting. Are you ready to sleep now? Lin Jingshu hesitated before speaking. Can't sleep anymore after experiencing the scene just now. Susiener finally woke up. The long-term biological clock disorder suddenly adjusted back, making her sleepy at night. In addition, she was still concentrating on giving lectures to those art students at noon. So she will sleep when she comes back. After sleeping for 2 hours, she was pulled up to live stream and draw a notebook for more than an hour. She felt sleepy again. She didn't expect to make such a fool of herself. Now she couldn't sleep at all. Then join a QQ group. Lin Jingshu's face turned slightly red. When I was live streaming, I was pulled into the group created by female fans. They wanted to pull you in, but you were painting live, so they wanted to wait for you. Let's talk after the live broadcast. Although Lin Jingshu sang live, she couldn't keep singing, otherwise her voice wouldn't be able to bear it, so when she finished singing a song, she would take a break to chat with the commentators. Of course, at the beginning, many underage barrages could not enter Susiener's live broadcast room and came to her for comfort. But halfway through the live broadcast, she was asked by many barrages to join a group, and the barrage's Makia said that there were all girls inside and asked her to talk to her about something. As a result, when I went in, I realized that everyone had something to ask Susiener, and she asked her, and everyone told her the truth. When she found out the result, she couldn't help but feel shy, but since she had agreed, she couldn't break her promise, but she said she would bring Susiener in first, and if she couldn't be convinced, she would try to beg in person. What group? Susiener looked at Lin Jingshu's blushing face and couldn't help but look weird. A group of female drivers racing. Then seeing Lin Jingshu gently nodding her head, Susiener couldn't help but be shocked. Isn't it? Really, Susiener heard in her previous life that some girls could make boys feel ashamed and kill them on their knees. But I had never been in a group of drivers who were all girls in my previous life, and I didn't expect to meet them in this life. Thinking of this, Susiener's embarrassment at the live broadcast disappeared in an instant, and her whole body became excited. It seems that in this life, she can explore what kind of creature a female driver is. Lin Jingshu came to Susiener's computer, logged into her QQ, and then, under Susiener's expectant eyes, pulled her into the group. I'm going back to my room first. After a slight cough, Lin Jingshu ran back without waiting for Susiener to say anything, obviously afraid that Susiener would cause trouble to her. Susiener sat on a chair and browsed the group first. I found that there were more than 1,000 members in the group. I looked at the time when the group was created. It was just established at noon today. I was surprised. In just one afternoon and one night, there were more than 1,000 members in the group. Of course, after Susiener finished browsing, she went straight to look through the folders, only to find nothing. Where is the group of female drivers that we agreed on? Where are you, little princess? Teacher Shuabai is coming out soon. Little filthy girl, come out quickly. There are still a bunch of people in Teacher 23,333's live broadcast room waiting for you to go back and say goodbye. When Susiener entered the group, Lin Jingshu said something on QQ and summoned all the people, then dived. Suddenly, the already active group rioted, with everyone talking to Susiener. Come on, seeing that she was being liked by so many people, Susiener quickly replied to the message, and then said, "We are still good friends even if we don't mention the live broadcast." Then she posted a funny and scared expression. Just when everyone was about to tease Susiener, the group leader immediately banned them all, quickly silenced them for a moment. Let's talk about business. Teacher Shuabai is probably very sleepy. Don't forget that the teacher is singing and yawning. A group of administrators who could speak all responded with 233333. And Susiener raised her forehead. This might become a dark history for her, but she was also very curious about what everyone was talking about. After teasing Susiener, the group leader told Susiener the business. It turned out that after Station B sent out the notice at noon, Shui Jing, a layman who had been silent for a long time, received this news on Weibo with mixed feelings. The male fans are happy, but the female fans are worried. You know, most of the fans gathered by the song Sakura Sakura Want to See You are actually women. The MV that was shot is now widely circulated. Even Asada Sayori said that the song MV is very important to Sakura Sakura Wants to See You. The promotion of You has a great promotion effect. The emotions expressed in the MV and the song can make sensitive people cry. So everyone was looking forward to Susiener's new song, but when this news came out, some extreme female fans turned from fans to fans. After all, after understanding this kind of thing, girls still hate it very much. Of course, most of the female fans are rational. Many people think that they don't read it anyway, and the ink and brush teacher just draws books. What's the point? This is also a profession. Most people are rational, and among these rational female fans, there is a group of dirty girls who are very excited. They went to see Susiener's Susien series as soon as possible, and their eyes lit up when they saw the style of painting. Of course, they just glanced at it. After all, the status of girls in male-oriented books is no different from that of RBQ. Except for a few, many girls still can't accept it. After browsing, some like-minded female fans formed such a group. However, what they want to see is not the male-oriented book Susien series, but another one. Originally, they wanted to ask the other party to join the group in Susiener's live broadcast room, but the dense barrage directly discouraged them. Susiener's fan group has been full for a long time, and she has no idea of expanding it, so the female fans have no choice but to tag Lin Jingshu in Lin Jingshu's fan group and ask for help. You want me to draw BL? Absolutely not, Susiener shuddered. She would never draw Denmei, even if a knife was on her neck. She did not discriminate against homosexuals, but that did not mean she would draw Denmei. She was straight, well, she had turned into a girl now. She lowered her head and looked at her breasts, gently rubbed them, and felt nothing. Sure enough, when the body became her own, it was impossible to have that feeling if she did not fantasize or even touch the key parts of her private parts. This was also the reason why she did not have any blasphemous thoughts when taking a bath even though she had traveled through time. But she was still a man in her heart, so she naturally would not draw BL. No. Alas, why? Teacher, you have drawn the Susien series. Why not draw BL? Yes, you can't be biased against those male fans, female fans also need your love. The male-oriented books in this world are so backward, not to mention Denmei. Can you imagine two muscular men being affectionate? This philosophy is simply beyond the sky. Although there are many philosophical ghosts on Bilibili, the girls are not interested in reading this kind of book. In their opinion, the men in Denmei must be extremely handsome. Teacher, is it really not possible? The group leader saw the message sent by Susiener and couldn't help but post pictures pitifully and cutely. We girls are also your fans. Susiener had a headache. In fact, What these girls said was right. Girls are also her fans. Can't she take both into account? But she won't draw Danmi. If she is a girl from soul to body, she will naturally not refuse. Unfortunately, it's not. Why do you draw books for men and not books for women? Can you tell us the reason? Women. Seeing these three words, Susienor was stunned, and then a light flashed in her mind. Yes, why can't you draw books for women? Of course, this female-oriented is not the BL that these girls think of, but a real female-oriented book. Please recommend.